What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on a post that I saw earlier today. And the post was it was I think it was a TikTok post. Was it TikTok? And it was Jason Whitlock had made a statement about Aari McDonald, right? And so let me see. I'm just going to read the post. I have it on my phone, right? Jason Whitlock, I think this was his TikTok account. It says, any female WNBA fans give me an opinion on Aari McDonald's wig. Looks crazy to me, but I'm no expert, right? And so we know that like lately, um, like I think last week, one of the like Kalia Copper, right? I think her wig got pulled off. And Kalia Copper ran off of she ran off the court, an embarrassment. They also stopped the game, she ran off the court. And so now also another incident happened where somebody at the in Atlanta, was it Atlanta? They threw like a sex toy on the court. I don't know if it was Atlanta or Chicago. I think it was Atlanta because I think two incidents happened, right? And one of them was in Atlanta. So they threw a sex toy on the court at the basketball game, a WNBA basketball game. And so I just think that like incidents like that, those, and it's not the basketball player's fault, and I think it was unfortunate that the young lady's Clear Copper, like her wig came off. Um, I just think it was unfortunate. But the thing about what the post that Jason Whitlock made with the disrespectful, like commenting on her wig, I didn't think that that was cool, right? I just thought that I don't know, like some the disrespect that the WNBA is that level of disrespect. I thought it was uncalled for, for him to comment on her hair. But her response back to it, I thought was really good because Ari McDonald posted. She said, "LOL. I usually don't respond to foolishness like this, but I couldn't help myself this time. Uh, you're very lame for commenting on a woman's appearance. For your information, it's not a wig. Don't make me get Stephen A. Smith right." And then so she posted the laughing emoji. I thought that Ari McDonald, the way she handled it, I thought that that was classy. I thought it was cool. And she just left it at that. She didn't take it any further, you know. And I think that, like none of us really should be commenting on anybody's like physical appearance, like, whether they think they got a wig or anything on, especially men. We got to be careful. I know on my podcast this weekend, I did speak about, like things that don't have anything to do with basketball, like the long nails, earrings, necklaces, and stuff like that. Because somebody in my chat, one of the women in my chat said that in high school, like anything that didn't have to do with basketball, they just don't allow you to wear it, and that includes the long fingernails. You can't have long fingernails. You can't have earrings on, no jewelry. The same as the men league. Like men are not allowed to wear jewelry, no necklaces or nothing like that, or earrings. So they can't wear it. And I think that's important. I think that like if the women want equality, then I think they have to follow the same rules that the men follow, like no jewelry or none of that stuff, you know, um, for safety reasons, I do think, I don't know. like one young lady, there's a few young ladies that wear like the long, what is it, like the long eyelashes and stuff like that. I think maybe, maybe they can get away with doing stuff like that. I don't know. That's cool. I think if the league allow that, I guess it's cool. But if it don't affect the way they play, or and it don't pose some type of safety risk, then I guess, the long eyelashes and stuff, I guess it's cool. I'll guess it's not a problem with it. But that's not for like a man, or that's just somebody who knows like what are the risks to wearing things like that, like the long eyelashes and stuff like that. I know that like if you have the long fingernails, you could mess around and jam your finger or something, or you could poke somebody in the eye. I think somebody did get poked in the eye, by a young lady who had those, she had long fingernails. I don't even see like with long fingernails though. I don't even see how like you can dribble the ball or like you can catch the ball, without like jamming your finger or something, from time to time. You don't, I wouldn't even want to take that risk. But I just thought that yeah, I thought Jason Whitlock this time he just went overboard. He stepped out of line by talking about this young lady's hair and her response. Like I said, let me read her response because she said, "LOL. I usually don't respond to uh, foolishness like this, but I couldn't help myself this time. You're very lame for commenting on a woman's appearance. For your information, it's not a wig. Don't make me get Stephen A. Smith." So I thought that was funny, man. I just thought that was funny that she said, "Don't make me get Stephen A. Smith on you." Yeah, that's where I think we need to draw the line, especially as men. We don't want to come off as like chauvinistic or misogynist or nothing like that. We just enjoy the basketball game. Keep it at basketball, and not really uh talk about somebody's look. And a lot of times, most men can't, I don't know, like you can't tell a wig from their people regular hair anyway. So I definitely wouldn't comment on anything that I wasn't sure about. And because you can be just like Jason Whitlock, you could be in the wrong, you could be wrong. She says not a wig, so who am I, or who are we to say that it is? And even it is a wig, and we don't like the way it look, like what's the point in saying something like that? Again, I just think that Jason Whitlock this time he just went overboard. And she called him out for it. I thought her response back to Jason Whitlock was it was classy, and it got directly to the point, and it just let Jason Whitlock know how she felt, and also just to let him know that that he was wrong, that according to her it is not a wig, that's her hair. But yeah, the WNBA, man, this last week, these young ladies have been taking a with what's going on with, like I said, the toys being thrown on the floor, and then the other young lady's wig fell off and stuff like that. I don't think people should take these things like that as an opportunity to think that you can go at these women and talk about, looks and stuff like that. I just don't think that's cool. But yeah, that's my take on it. Let me know what you think. Um, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, make sure to leave a comment. Let me know, what you think about what do you think? Do you think that Jason Whitlock was out of line by commenting on her hair? Um, I don't know. He wouldn't like it, if somebody made a comment about his weight, and it may not bother him, but he probably is just like her, he'd probably ignore it most of the time, and then every once in a while, something like that might get to him too. So, but he probably wouldn't appreciate it. And I just thought that Jason Whitlock just went overboard that time. But don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out on the next video. Peace.